the problems that prevent people from getting jobs. If you have somebody in rural Arkansas who can't find a job, what they're suggesting is not going to actually help that person get a job. It's just going to take health insurance away. And if that's a person who has a chronic illness that they're managing, that they get medications for, right, what's the result of this going to be? That they're going to have a huge...
Just want to make a point on how unfair the capitalist system is, okay? Now, to start out, it might have been not so bad, because it was an alternative to just doing everything yourself, which some things you can't do at all. I mean, so you have people who naturally decided they wanted to create a system, or the system of bartering evolved into a system. Either way, it's not created for the purpose of making some people work for other people, right? Which is what the capitalist system turned into very quickly. So, and what it is to get it's kind of an Amish kind of thing, you know, like the whole community building barns for everybody. It's a way of getting things done through specialization and, I forget what there's actually a few things I learned in college that are useful. Anyway, it's when you make something big because you get much more productivity and use of resources and cultivation of resources, etc. Economies of scale, I think it's called. I forget. It's been a long time, and most of that's fairly useless to me, except for today. Anyway, so saying that, what I'm saying is that it's unfair for people who own companies, and not that companies should be owned. I don't think they should be. I think they should be owned by the people. Because like I say, all the people got together to create this system so that they wouldn't have to try to build their own house. So that you'd have companies, you know, that would build houses. Which is far much better. I mean, if everybody had to build their own house, if everybody had to try and build their own VCR, yeah, I mean, you see where I'm going here. So, the problem is that the greedy people have to make a lot of profit, right? So that they can go skiing in the Alps and sunbathing on the Riviera in the summer, right? Send their kids to the best schools, while purposely making it so that there aren't even good schools available for the rest of us, right? And as I've stated many times, you know, they put me in Oxford and then they asked me if I wanted to go to Harvard. That's just because I was part of the elite owed my father favors for helping them around the world screw average people in different countries. Okay, so that's how it is. That's how screwed up it is. And that, I mean, I'm not saying that a company shouldn't make any profit. I'm not saying that the people who, well, yeah, I am. The people who own it shouldn't make any profit, unless they're working in the company. And then the people who, of course, work in the companies, all the employees, including if the owner works, actually has a job instead of just going in and barking at somebody every couple of hours. You know, that's not really a job, right? Although somebody has to run it, but not necessarily the owner. And if we don't need the owner to work in the company, what's the point in even having one? you know. So the company, except for reinvestment, shouldn't be making profits at all. I mean, we're talking about fair here, right? We're talking about social justice. In fact, all companies that have been created shouldn't really have profits. It's just sucking money out of the economy without any representation in reality, you know, other than people going to skiing in the Alps, and you see what I mean here? Okay, so that's basically what I have to say. I mean, about profits in the economic system. They're just a way. They're just another form of slavery, right? I mean, they're a way for some few people, very few. I think we call them the 1%, the 0.1%, you know, whatever. To get other people to work for them. And, you know, this goes back to what I've been talking about in several other segments about Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. You know, tricking the kids into painting the fence for him. It's, you know, whether it's voluntary or not, it's a kind of a slavery. You know, they don't have to go out and build houses for us and make cars for us, but we have to go out and build houses for them and dig their swimming pools and what have you. It's just slavery. I mean, there's no other way to look at it. And anybody who, you know, those idiots out there, these conservative, I mean, there are 8-year-old kids who will argue with me the conservative talking points. I'm just amazed at how propagandized Americans are from the get-go. And the rest of Europe, you know, Europe and Australia and Canada, because we got all of our bad habits from, I mean, we're Europeans at one point. I'm speaking for fellow white people, you know, in America, Canada, Australia, across Europe, all of the white people in Europe. I mean, that's really what it's come down to is, and, you know, in an animalistic world, you have to give total credit to white people. You are absolutely superior at, you know, rumble in the jungle. You know, you can kill better, you can enslave better, you know, all that stuff that animals do to each other, because they don't have the mental capacity to think beyond that to being human, right? We use the word human, even though it's us as, it's the animal turned civil, right? Having civilization. So, you know, as far as white people go and their superiority complex, absolutely. You're the most vicious beast in the jungle. Congratulations.